Welcome to the shooting show. This week we follow Bob Bucknell and partner on a foxing foray down in Essex using the FLIR thermal imager. Plus we bring you all the latest news from the shooting world.
Sent along a FLIR thermal imager, very neat little piece of kit. Self-contained battery, charge it up in there, lasts, they say, about 5 hours. I haven't been out 5 hours long enough to try it out solidly, but it switched itself off after 5 minutes. But that's quite easy because it tells you that it's going to switch itself off, so you just override it, which means that the battery lasts a fair while because it makes you turn the thing off, or you can put it in your pocket and you know it's going to turn itself off. Small, neat, it does black, white, white, white and shades of red. Image can be doubled up, but where it is really super little piece of kit is that it's so neat. If you have a top pocket, it would go in there. For finding deer, it's the sort of piece of kit you'd take with you. This is my foxing kit, which is big and batteries and last 9 hours and all this sort of thing. Just turn it on and solidly run. This is the Quantum. You can see the difference in the size. I was talking to somebody the other day, and I've got one of these for backing up his binoculars for deer, and he was out with a mate, and as the light came up in the morning, they were looking round with a good quality pair of binoculars, and he said, "How many deer can you see?" And the answer was, 1. Have a look through this. You count 5. And that's where the thermal just lets you see into bushes, bits of anything that's hot out there, it'll show it to you. And so, yeah, it's a good piece of kit. The refresh rate's a little low, so if you're scanning a lot, it's a little bit annoying. But if you're just using it for spotting deer from a high seat or just counting deer, big lumps out there, I think that's a good piece of kit to fill that slot. The thing is, the difference with searching for a fox is a fox lives by its feet, so there it is, the whole time it's on the move. So you're having to track the whole time. So a 50 refresh rate is very useful. Whereas this chap is only, I don't know, 8, 9, 10, 11, I think, which is quite slow. But of course, deer only graze at the speed the grass grows, so they're just moving along very gently. And so a gentle scan will pick your deer up, no problem at all. It's the sort of thing that doesn't weigh you down, and you just slide it in, keep it with you, fit in the glove box or whatever. It's not sort of price of kit you'd want to lose, but it's handy. The other little thing it's got in here is, if you can't see anything else, it has the torch. So you can find your way at night, which is quite handy. On-off is on here. Brightness is on this one, gives an indicator for an up and down as you work it, runs up and down and little dots. This chap is the operations mode, so you get white hot, black hot, and then a colour palette which is red, and you can increase the intensity of that, and then it rocks back into white, black again. And this one is a doubler. It digitally doubles the size of the picture you're getting. It's quite a comprehensive list there, perfectly adequate for what you want. The diopter here is, if you're wearing glasses or whatever, wind this up and down. And it switches on for 5 minutes, turns itself off. but you just override, it comes up, tells you you've got 30 seconds left, override it with this, and so you can slip it in your pocket without bothering to turn it off. It does it for you. And once it's turned off, if you're wandering around the place trying to find your way around, the torch is the vital little piece that you may have left at home and forgotten.
Time to put all that knowledge into practice on a windy night on Robert's Patch in Essex. It's the classic twosome of Bob and Nigel, putting the FLIR to the test. Very quickly the unit starts to prove its worth as a wildlife spotter.
Thermal is brilliant for seeing through things, provided it can see through them. So if you've got a bush in the way and there's a fox behind there, it'll give you the bits of fox in between, or deer or whatever. But if it's shut, there's no way it will see. So a lot of leaf, the ground just rises. As soon as it drops in there, you can shoot a fox and you can see it in the grass. It drops down and you go, did I hit it? Is it out there? And you search and you think, oh, I don't know, I didn't see it run off. And then you virtually stand on it and the grass is only this tall and the fox is half the height, and unless you're within 5 metres, you don't see it. So, yeah, but if that fox stands up and you've got a hedge without any leaf on at this time of year and it's going down the back, it may be now you see it, now you don't, but you'll pick up enough of that fox to pick it out. And again with deer coming out of a wood, you'll see bits of deer and eventually it will come out or whatever, but you've made it already.
No shot was offered at the first location, but we're already getting an idea of what the FLIR offers. This is one of the most affordable thermal imagers on the market at £2,400 new. The screen refresh rate isn't as fast as on some more expensive units, but the sight picture is remarkably detailed. With a fox spotted and successfully identified, Nigel switches to his rifle with Apex thermal imager mounted. Everything is in place for a shot, but the fox just won't stay still, so a quick bark is required to get its attention.
The white is really good for giving you shades of heat on an animal. So if you look at a fox, you can see the coat's working well and it's sort of more brownish, whereas you look at a muntjac, it glows and you can see fairly bright all over and very light inside the legs. If you go over to black, now black is brilliant for giving you an outline, whereas white is a bit fuzzy, but gives you more contrast within the animal. Black goes, this is the shape of it. So it looks like a hare, it's a hare, but it looks like a rabbit, it looks like a fox. But you can swap between the two so easily. The only thing with this one is that you then rock through into your colour palette. You have to work your way up that before you get back round again. But it's all doable. And it allows you to interrogate what you're looking at a bit more. When you're looking at deer, white will do fine, just depends on how good your vision is. And if you're trying to maintain your vision for your scope as the light's going down or light's coming up, then use the other eye and then you can swap over to your scope and you've still got good vision on whichever eye you're using for that.
A windy night like this doesn't make for the easiest testing conditions, but one fox on the ground is no bad result. Robert retrieves the shot animal while Nigel watches on through the FLIR.
It's got some teeth.
Yeah,
That was a
long
good start.
teeth.
Technology is moving forward the whole time, and so it's always getting better. Hitler was coming up with super tanks and really good stuff, and somebody said to Churchill, well, we can have a smashing tank that really works well in the future, you know, give us 6 months. And he said, no, we need second best now. But actually it's first best now, but it's second best down the way. But if it works for you and it does the job, don't wait for the new technology. Try it, trial it. If it works for you, fine. And you don't need to upgrade. You can if you really need to. But if it's doing the job, and this one being upgraded already, I'm not going to bother because it's good enough for what I do. I don't need to buy something better. But technology is moving on all the time, and I'm sure in 3 or 4 years' time will just be unbelievable kit that's coming in because it's being developed and there's a big civilian market out there.
Bob and Pal getting to grips with a thermal imager there. And now, it's the Shooting Show News.
This is the Shooting Show News. Firearms laws are heading for a revamp, and shooting organisations are happy about it. The Law Commission has called for improvements to the law, highlighting more than 30 pieces of overlapping legislation and calling for Home Office approved standards for deactivating firearms. BASC said this was a serious and considered report and the government was moving in the right direction. There'll be a cracking clay line at the UK Game Fair, thanks to Ely Hawk. The leading cartridge manufacturer will sponsor the clay line at the UK's new flagship country sports event, taking place at Stoneleigh on the 22nd to the 24th of July. Visitors can expect a full range of have-a-go sessions, giving them the opportunity to try guns before they buy. And no fewer than 15,000 Ely cartridges will be on offer as prizes. Staying at Stoneleigh, the UK Game Fair has announced a unique airgunning experience, with the ATEO leading the airgun line. Showgoers will be able to enjoy shooting a ton of hardware from the likes of Brocock, BSA, Daystate and Gammo. There'll be coaching sessions for all comers, from juniors to experienced shots, and trained ATEO coaches on hand to answer queries. Organisers promised entry prices would be at a very affordable level. The RSPB has been condemned for ignoring a steep decline in raptor offences. Recorded incidents of raptor poisoning fell from 24 to 6 in the 3 years to 2014. But the RSPB has overlooked this in its latest bird crime report, only concentrating on the total number of offences in the last 20 years. BASC's Colin Shedden said gamekeepers' hard work was delivering welcome reductions in a range of wildlife crimes. If you're a gamekeeper, don't miss iShoot magazine every month. And finally, if you're a keen wildfowler, get the 12th of March in your diary. It's the date of BASC's next wildfowling conference, taking place in Sutton Coldfield. The National Conference gives wildfowlers the opportunity to learn more about issues affecting them and to meet other wildfowlers to discuss the sport. Head online to basc.org.uk to find out more. That was the Shooting Show News.
Well, that's it for this week. Thanks for watching and a very happy Christmas to all. Please don't forget to tune in next week when we'll bring you a 2015 special showing you all the outtakes that should have remained on the cutting room floor. This has been The Shooting Show.